Hey guys, welcome back to Rudder Innovations, where today we're going to learn how to change out this ceiling fan. Here we go. Start by turning the fan's power off at the breaker, and then we'll unscrew these two screws. You can always use a non-contact voltmeter to check and make sure that the power is off. And once you're sure it is, then you can pull your wires out and get ready to disconnect the old fan. Once you have the wires pulled out, you'll see that this particular wire has 4 wires coming out of there. It's a white, which is the neutral, black, which is the hot, red, which is the hot, and the green or the bare wire, which is the ground. And in this instance, this fan has 2 wires that are hot because one is for the light, which in this case is the red, and one is for the fan, which in this case is black. If you're not sure which, you can turn the switch on or the power on and then check with your voltmeter for the light switch and the fan switch, and you'll know which one is which. Or if you just have 3 wires, which is a white, a black, and a ground, more than likely both of your fan and your light are wired to the one hot, and you will use the switches on the fan to turn on the light and turn off the light and the fan on and off. Now I'll go ahead and remove all of the old wire nuts and get the old fan removed. All right, now that we have all of the wires disconnected, these are the wires coming from the house. These are all the wires going to the fan. And the way that this will be removed, there's a little ball that hangs on this, and you just simply pick the fan up, and the ball sits right in here, and the whole fan will come down once you have all the wires disconnected. Now we can remove the old mount and put the new mount up that comes with the fan. Next, they have a lot of extra wire in case you have a very tall ceiling and a long pole, but because this will be almost a flush mount and there's just a short pole, we're gonna cut a lot of this wire off before we feed it through. So I'll go ahead and do that now. It's always better to leave more wire in case you need it than to cut too much. With this particular fan, you're gonna feed all of the wire through all of the pieces, and in this instance, they have this little guard that you'd feed it through first. Next, they're gonna feed it through this plate. Next, they're gonna feed it through the little pole. After you get there, you'll see this little clip right here and this little pin that'll come out. Looks like this, and that'll slide through this hole in the stem, which is right here. So I'll put that through, slide the pin back through, and put our clip back on. There's also a couple of set screws that you can use to tighten down on that rod as well. So once we get this hung up there, I'm gonna tighten those up. So once you have that on, the same thing, you'll slide this ball. There's a groove in here that you wanna line up with the groove on this mount. So I'll get these wires out of the way, line it up, and then we're gonna push this ball right over it. The wires are in the way. And now the weight of the fan is on our mount. And I'm gonna tighten up those 2 screws underneath by just lifting that up. And that'll give me access to these 2 screws to tighten up. There's also, once you tighten the screws, a little nut on there that you can turn, and that'll keep the screw from backing out with any vibrations from the fan. And now all we have left to do is wire up the fan. Because we cut all of these, we're gonna go ahead and strip some length of wire back. You probably only need to do 3/8 of an inch. Before I wire all these up, I forgot to put this on, so I'm gonna lift the fan back off, put this over it, and then put it back on. Before we wire all these up, you need to know which wire goes where, and on the blue wire that we cut off, it says this is for the light kit. So the blue is gonna be for our lights, which in this case is our red power wire. The black is gonna be for our fan, which will go with the black. The white will go with the white, and the green will go with our copper ground. All right, so we have our grounds together. We have the black with the black, which is our fan. We have the red, which is our second power line, going for the lights connected to the light, which is blue. And then we have our neutrals connected together. Now we'll go ahead and fold those up underneath the mount to where they're out of the way and none of the wires are gonna get caught. And then we'll put this cover back on there, which will just slide over, and there's a couple of slots that it'll just twist on, and then you can put in these holes the stationary screws that'll hold it still. If your fan didn't come with a light kit, you would just put the cap up right here and you would be done after you install your fan blades. But this particular fan did come with a light kit, and so we'll connect the two plug and play wires. The black will go with the blue, the white will go with the white in this instance. But before we put this on, we are going to remove these blocks that come and keep the fan from spinning and shipping, and then we'll put the fan blades on. So we're going to unscrew all of these first, we'll put the fan blades on, and then we'll install our light kit. Putting the fan blades together is really easy. All you do is you take the mount, line it up with the blade itself, and there's 3 little screws you just put in there like that. Get them in, tighten them down, and they'll be ready to go. All right, so here's a light kit, and it already has the 3 screws in here, and we're gonna remove these so that when we push it up in there after we connect these, we'll screw it back through. Start by connecting the white to the white, black to the black. Then as you get these wires tucked up in here, and keep in mind there's a slot here on the light kit, and it needs to be lined up with this reverse switch on the other side, or otherwise you're not going to get it in there. All right, the globe has these little notches right here, and then it turns, it slides on. So you'll spin it once you get it on the groove. So we'll go ahead and slide that over now. You can see where the little holes are that it'll line up with, just like that. And then it'll spin, and then it'll be on. You'll be ready to test your fan. At this point, you can go ahead and turn your power back on at the breaker and switches, test out your fan switches at the chain, and then you'll be done. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you like this video, like it. And if you're watching on Medium, you can subscribe. Feel free to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace and God bless.